Okay, guys, so the next one now is going to be JavaScript operators. We are going to be talking about JavaScript operators, and I've aligned all the JavaScript operators here. To my best knowledge, I don't think there is any other JavaScript operators than those ones that I put here. We have the addition, the subtraction, division, multiplication, plus plus, equals to, equals to, equals to, equals to, equals to, exclamation mark, and, or, this is or, and and. So those are just their names. Again, this is plus, minus, division, multiplication, plus plus, equals to, which is double equals to, and triple equals to, exclamation mark, or, this is all in JavaScript, and and. So we already know something like this. If I should say const, let me say 20 plus 40. This is invalid JavaScript, though you can't write JavaScript like this if you are in a coding environment. But if you are, since we are on the browser console and it permits us to write something like this, so I don't think you need too much. 20 plus 40 is 60. 40 minus 20 is 20. You don't need too much explanation for this. If I say 60 divided by 3 is 20, and if I say 40 times 2 is equals to 80. So you already know all this. This is just basic mathematics. You don't need to know too much about this, but I just want to show you something on the plus function. For instance, if I say const font new number is equals to, let me say 12, and I say const new number number 1 is equals to 13. So I can say new number plus new number 1 is equals to 25. You understand what it is, and I can assign this value into, I can say const result is equals to I can say const result is equals to new number plus new number 1, which is 13 plus 12, and this will be equal to 25. If I should say console, I didn't use console.log the other time, sorry for that. So console.log, open and close bracket, result is going to give me 25. Are you getting it now? So I am sorry for not showing you how to use the console.log the other time, but this is how we use the console.log. And one thing you also need to understand is that the plus can also add two strings together. For instance, if I say my name, const my name is equals to, as you all know, my name is Joseph, and if I now say const, we've done this before. If I say const welcome msg, which is welcome message, is equals to my name is, so I can use the plus two string together, and it's going to give me something like this, and say, I can say welcome message plus my name. Okay, I didn't put a space here. If I add a space, you're going to see it's going to have, so you can also use the plus to add two strings together, and you can also use the plus to add a number and a string together. So you can also use the a plus to add a number and a string together, something like can say the random number is plus, let's say 10. The random number is 10. It's going to add, this is a string and this is a number. It's going to add both the number and the string together. So this is how you use the plus. We've explained the plus, we've explained the minus, the multiplication and division. You don't need too much explanation for that. So the next on the line we've not touched is the plus plus. Now plus plus is what it's like increments, is incremental, so it's just like telling us increase by one, just increase by one, just increase by one, just increase by one, just increase by one. So the plus plus is almost the same thing as say plus is equals to plus one. For instance, if I should say let, now the reason why I'm using let instead of const this time around, because I'm going to change the value from maybe from 0 to 1 to 2 to 3. So if I use const, I'll not be able to change the value again. So if I should say let incremental is equals to 0, I can now say incremental, which is equals to 0, is equals to incremental plus 1. So instead of me to just go through all this process, now incremental is now 1. If I should add, what's the value of incremental now? The value of incremental now is now 1, it's no longer 0. So instead of me to go through the process of saying incremental is equals to incremental plus 1, I can just say incremental plus plus, and it's going to give me, it's giving me 1 actually. But if I should say let count equals to 0, and I say count plus plus, so count is not giving me 1. What is the value of count? Count is giving me 2. Count, okay, I think count, oh sorry, counts. If I should say counts plus plus, I think there's some values that I had not, I haven't refreshed the page. If I should refresh the page, we are going to have a new set of JavaScript. So let's count equals to 0. Value of counts is 0. Count plus plus is going to now become count plus count. Count is equals to count plus 1, which means count is now equals to 0, because the value of count was 0 before. It's going to be count is now 0 plus 1, which is count plus plus. So it's going to give me, it's supposed to give me 1, I don't know. It's supposed to be giving me 1, I don't know why it's giving me 0. Count 1. So count has now increased to 1. I think if I should go count plus plus again, it's going to give me 2, yeah. So if I should go count plus plus again, it's going to give me 3. You understand? So plus plus is just keep increment, just keep adding one to it. So you don't need to suffer yourself and start adding, say let count is now equals to count plus 1, count is now equals to count plus 2. So the next one is the double equals to sign. Now the double equals to sign in JavaScript, which is this, both the double equals to and the triple equals to sign are used to compare. They are used to compare, but both of them are comparing two different things. The double equals to sign, okay, so sorry, I actually encountered an issue there. So we are talking about the plus plus, so the equals to sign. So the equals to sign is in JavaScript is, like I have explained before, is a way to compare. But in JavaScript, in this one, we are comparing only the values. We are not checking for the type. Now, I told you there is type, which is string, boolean, and then the number, and then the object. Now, for instance, if I should say that, if I should say 3 is triple equals to, is double equals to 3. Now it's going to tell me true. Why? 3 and 3 are of the same value. So it's going to give me true. If I say 3 is equals to 2, it's going to give me false, because 3 and 2, they are not of the same value. Are you getting it? So the double equals to check for the value. It doesn't really care about the type. So if I should say 3 is equals to, if I should put in string and say 3, is still going to give me true, because the value of this 3 is actually, though this is a string value of 3, but the value is still 3. You understand? So double equals to checks for you know, it checks for the value of the two things you are comparing, but it doesn't care about the type, if they are of the same type or not. So if I should say const, for instance, if I should say true is double equals to true, it's going to give me true. So if I should say, for instance, if I should say const compare 1 is equals to 4, or let me say 10 is greater than 3. If I should say const compare 2 is equals to 3 is greater than 2.9. So I think both of them should be giving me true. Compare 1 and compare 2 should be giving me true. So if I now say compare 1 is double equals to compare 2, it's going to compare 2, sorry, it's going to give me true. Now why? Because they are of the same true and of the same true. So it checks for the value and it doesn't care if it doesn't check for the for the type. Why the double equals to checks for the value and the type? You understand? So if I should say 10 is double equals to 10, true. If I should say 10 is double equals to 10, I will have false because they are not of the same. They are of the same value, but they are not of the same type. This is string. This one here is string, and this one here is not a string. This one here is a number. So if I should also say, is there another thing again that I can use to compare? If I should say true is triple equals to false, you get false. You get false. Why? They are not of the same value, but they are of the same type. They are both Boolean. You understand? So if you really want to do a full comparison in JavaScript, you are going to be having you are going to be using the triple equals to rather than the double equals to. So I hope you understand what the double equals to does. So if I should say compare 1 is double equals to compare 2, I should still be having true. Yeah, so that's that. And then the next thing you also need to know is the exclamation. Exclamation in JavaScript simply means the opposite. Exclamation in JavaScript means the opposite. If I should say, and closing bracket, I say 3 is greater than 2, you're going to get false. 3 is actually greater than true. 2 is supposed to print true, but the opposite of true is going to be false. So exclamation in JavaScript is just anything opposite. We just want to do the opposite. That's majorly the function of exclamation, and you're going to use this a lot. Yeah, in fact, this JavaScript operation, you are going to use them a lot. So for instance now, and then the next one we have is the or. This is or. So if I should say 3, let me say const value 1, invalid JavaScript, const value 1 is equals to 3 is greater than true, which is false, which is true rather, and I say const value 2 is equals to 4 is greater than 4 is less than 6. So this is going to be a false, right? This is going to be a false. But let me now say, if I should say value 1 is triple equals to value 2, which should give me 4 is less than 5. Okay, they're both true. Okay, I think I need another example. Okay, so let me say something like this. Let me say 3 is greater than 2, or 4 is greater than 6. True, right? If I say 4 is greater than 2, it's going to give me true. Now 4 is greater than 2, or 4 is not greater than 7. Yeah, 4 is not greater than 7, so I'm supposed to be having a false. But because we have this or here, this or is going to check if 1 is true, it's going to return true. Now this side is true, while this side is false. Are you getting it now? This side is true, Why this side is false, but it checks if one value is already true. It doesn't bother. It's just going to just return true. It checks for all the value and see if just one value is true. It doesn't care. All you just have to say is, let me say 0 is equals to null. So it just check for one if one is true. But let me do something else. Let me copy the same thing here and then press enter, and then let me paste this here. Now instead of me to have this, I'm going to have an and. Now I'm having false. Why am I having false? So let me remove this 0 is triple equals to null, because actually 0 is triple equals to null. So what am I having here? I'm having false here. So it's telling me this one is checking if both of them are both true. If both of them, if one of them is not true, it's going to return false. Are you getting it? If one of them is not true, it's going to return false. So if I should copy this now and say exclamation mark, open and close bracket, what just happened? Okay, open and close, sorry, exclamation mark, open and close bracket, paste this here. I'm going to have true. Why am I having true? Because this exclamation mark prints the direct opposite of that you want to learn. And I think that should be all in our JavaScript operation. I promise you are going to use this a lot when you are doing your web development. You're going to use it a lot in React. You're going to use it a lot in coding. And